a lot of people have seen me on LinkedIn, and like, how did I like get so much engagement? And I literally just comment on things.
But it's not like the way that you comment is very, like, I wouldn't call it even genuine. It's just natural, as opposed to a lot of people when they comment or post on LinkedIn, it's very crafted, and you can tell that.
This episode is brought to you by Isometric Technologies, ISO, the ultimate freight broker's secret weapon. With ISO, you'll have access to industry-wide service performance benchmarks, dynamic carrier and customer scorecards, and powerful analytics so you can understand your service strengths, address your weaknesses, and differentiate your carrier network from the competition. To learn more and get started, visit iso.io today.
Thank you, Danielle, for coming on. So Danielle Chapman is the solutions engineer at Revenova.
Mm-hmm.
We all know her. I just met you for the first time in person, but Reen has met you a couple of times before. You guys were at Matt's together, right?
We were.
Yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome.
What I hear.
Yeah, Danielle was attended all the events and is leads from the front, I think.
So we invited her because we think that she's going to have some hot takes on some of the tech.
She's got hot takes about things that people don't have hot takes about. Or they're too scared to talk about.
Exactly.
CRMs and TMSs.
How long have you been at?
Yeah. Well, first of all, tell everyone what Revenova is. Tell people what it is.
So
Assume the audience knows nothing.
Assume the audience knows nothing. Revenova is a transportation management system. We're built on the Salesforce platform. So it's like an app that you would download on your iPhone, except Salesforce is the iPhone and Revenova is the app. And we include everything from quote to cash. So all the way from prospecting, which is awesome because we get to utilize the Salesforce CRM.
Sure.
My marketing guy. So Salesforce CRM, we get to utilize and take advantage of all of their awesome prospecting opportunity tools, and then we bring in the TMS, the logistics side of it, and we go all the way through billing customers, paying carriers.
I know a bunch of friends that use Revenova.
Yeah,
different freight.
And it's our biggest advantage, is being on the Salesforce platform. We don't have to worry about servers. We don't have to worry about going offline, all of that mess. 2, it's all in one place. There's not 800 different tools that you have to use.
So did you find Revenova through the Lost Freight Discord?
No, she would.
No, I'm older than the Discord.
She did. So what were you doing? When did you join transportation? What's your background in the industry?
Yeah. So
what's your history?
In the industry, I have like 30 years experience now. I know. I'm just kidding. I am kidding, but I'm not kidding. No.
Wow.
No. So
your dad was a driver.
So I'm like kidding, but not kidding. My dad was a driver. Now is on an executive team at a carrier.
Were you driving with him?
Yeah, I've been on trips with him. As a kid, he doesn't drive a lot anymore. And then my grandpa also drove. Retired at 76 or 77. Finally stopped driving. Yeah. So that's my background. Promised him I would never do it. So I went into school for social work. It was okay, I guess.
Where'd you go to school?
I have my undergrad from Troy in Alabama, and then my master's is from Tennessee State University. Yeah, and then my best friend was working at R&L as a broker. And I saw how much money she was making. We were young 20s, and I was like, oh, this is cool. So I applied for a job at BNSF and got it. And that was my broker experience for about a year.
At BNSF?
Mm-hmm.
So that's like more intermodal listening?
No,
they had a brokerage.
Yeah.
BNSF Logistics.
Yeah.
I think they just sold it.
I think they divested it from what I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, I forget the details.
All right, whatever.
I would have to look it up online. But I was heavy like produce, which was very stressful.
Yes.
So I left there, went back into social work, and then found Revenova.
And when was that?
Almost 5 years ago.
Oh, wow. So when did Revenova start?
10-year anniversary is June.
Okay, so you've been there for over half of its life.
Yeah, we were growing up together.
That's good.
So you've been around the block for on the side of CRMs, TMS is like what makes them good, what makes them bad. I'm assuming, but at Revenova, you're the only one that you only had like the perspective of Revenova, given that you've been there for the entire 5 years, right?
Yeah.
But I'm assuming you've been to many of these conferences and seen some of these other platforms as well.
You guys are always scoping each other out.
Yeah,
and they're all calling each other's customers all the time. So like, I'm not saying Daniel. It's like a round robin.
Customers talk, and then the like customers that we have good relationships with, or I have good relationships with, then they'll tell you everything.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I do keep a running log of the things I hear.
So as your day job,
Yeah.
as a solutions engineer,
Yeah.
what does that actually entail?
So I am more or less sales/solutions engineer, one and the same. I work with our sales team on the pre-sales. So they do like the first initial or like demo call. And then if it moves past that demo and the prospect wants to see more, they'll ask for scenarios or like what kind of freight are you moving? What does your operations look like? And we'll get those. And then I come in, essentially build it out in Revenova. I say build it out. I just create the loads and show them what it would look like in Revenova and how they would operate.
Sure. What's your close rate?
I don't know. Good question. 100%. All of them.
Hey there, amazing listeners. If you're enjoying what you're hearing on our podcast, we need your support. It will only take a moment, but it would mean the world to us. Please make sure to hit the like button on this video, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share with one of your friends that would enjoy our content. Your engagement helps us reach more people and bring more awesome episodes to you. Thanks a million, and thanks for being part of the podcast community.
It's good.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. So how have you liked it so far? I'm assuming since you're there for 5 years, you've enjoyed it?
Yeah, my first 4 years was a lot. We were still a very small company. I wore a lot of hats. So I was spread across doing everything. And then this role is very dedicated, very, very fun for me.
Very fun?
Very fun. Yeah. I get to answer questions about our product, about the Salesforce platform, and talk to people in the industry, which is my favorite part.
When did you first start getting more like involved online, like either on whatever, LinkedIn, socials, whatever, stuff like that?
Yeah. I've answered this question a lot the past couple of days. I would say it's been 8 months to a year now. I know this. Not I feel like this is factual. The first 3 years that I was at Revenue, I was kind of like hiding in the like corporate, like you can't do this, you can't do social media kind of.
Yeah.
I thought I would get in
A
trouble.
lot of people
Like lots of caution tape, mental caution tape.
Yeah. And I would like overanalyze anything, like even posting on my personal social media, totally unwarranted, like irrational fear that I had. And then it was like a light switch. I just stopped doing that.
What flipped the switch for you?
I was actually just really stressed out,
just started trying.
and I needed like an out,
Abyss.
like an addiction. I needed something, since I went to Freight X.
Was Twitter your kind of like? Was that where you started?
Yeah, that was my.
I'm trying to rewind my brain because I remember you like. I feel like I saw you on Twitter one day. The next day you joined the Discord, and then it's been like ever since. I've just seen you all the time.
You've been almost on like every or maybe every other like Tech Bro Tuesday
I am.
that
I consider myself a tech bro. Actually, you gave me a role.
She is a tech bro.
with
Yeah.
a little laptop.
The total
Yeah.
tech bro.
It's a badge.
Tech bro, the bro in tech bro is not a gendered word. Okay, it can be anybody.
It can be any.
Anybody can be a tech bro.
Politically correct.
I know you're not. I'm
For the audience.
Freight Counter is a very politically correct audience, so I'm sure they're all going to be, raising their hands, screaming at my gender.
Have you gotten some flag for it?
No.
I don't think
It's not
anybody in the audience.
It's a term of endearment.
Yeah,
That's what
I
it
would
is.
rather be a tech bro than a tech bro.
I have written that in the past before, and it's an ugly looking word.
It is.
It's just like not a good word. And every woman I know who's like a tech bro, I'm just like, dude, you're a tech.
That word has been made for the purpose of political correctness, and that's all that there.
Yeah,
It didn't exist before.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. You started. I love how your outlet was Twitter at first. When were you immediately?
It happened.
Yeah, give me. Okay, all right.
So I like to lurk a lot on social media. But what I do or was doing, I would search like keywords to just find anything relevant to the TMS really, but like freight, just to keep up with things. So that night I had searched on Twitter freight. And there was one hashtag that said freight X. And the post was, "We are so back." And I was like, like, what is this? So then I clicked on like the hashtag and it brought me to all these posts. And it was, "We're so back. We're so back. We're so back. We're so back." So I was like, okay, I'm back too. So I just started like reposting this. And
Let's go.
then there was a link for the Discord. And that was
Dude,
the beginning, not the end.
that's awesome. That means that the meme that was like we didn't make that phrase up. Obviously, people have been saying that like on the internet for a long time, and it's just like a meme that like you just say it and then you just get everyone else to say it, and it's just like it builds and nobody knows like what they're actually talking. Like,
Yeah,
who don't get it, and that's fine. But like it's just like a vibe.
So was there ever a time that Freight X was not there and then it's
I mean, I don't remember.
No. So it was on a Twitter space. We were on a Twitter space on Thursday. It was a freight therapy space. And I would, over the summer, this was, when was this? Was this over the summer?
Yeah.
probably?
Yeah. So
Yeah, because I said it's been like 8 months to a year.
So I would get everybody during the space to all tweet the same thing. Like just everybody would tweet the exact same thing. And we did stuff like, I had this like Hot Wheels computer. You ever seen that picture of that like Hot Wheels desktop computer from like 2000? And I said like people would say stuff like, you know, the supply chain runs on my Tech Bro battle station, and just post this picture of the Hot Wheels computer.
That was good.
And then we Were So Back, where we just did that, and then we got it to blow up. Like we got the Freightways account to tweet it. We got like everyone to tweet it. Craig tweeted it. Like, and it was just a big like fly trap, right? It caught her.
Yeah.
It's great.
It was like right around F3, I think, and there was just like a big group of people starting to congregate of like, who's going to F3? Everybody was preparing. We were having the spaces. It was pretty exciting.
And so I was supposed to go to F3, and then my youngest child, he's 2, he ended up getting sick. He would have been like 1 at the time, but he ended up getting sick, so I couldn't go.
Oh.
And so then that was serious case of FOMO.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun. I did like F3. That was pretty fun.
I'll be there this year.
Yeah, there's two events, right? Like there's an Atlanta one, and then there's a
That's in like 2 months. The Atlanta one's in June.
yeah.
It's in Atlanta. No.
I've never gone to the Atlanta one, but I think this last F3 was technically my first one. It's a fun time, always in Chattanooga. No matter what I go there for, it's always.
Daniel will come next year. So okay, so you. Yeah, I mean, but you've basically like been all gas ever since then. Like,
I am an all or nothing person.
Yeah.
So once I start and like something,
You're in.
yeah. But there's been like people asking me this week. A lot of people have seen me on LinkedIn, and like, how did I like get so much engagement? And I literally just comment on things.
But it's not like the way that you comment is very. Like, I wouldn't call it even genuine. It's just natural, as opposed to a lot of people when they comment or post on LinkedIn, it's very crafted. And you can tell that this is not synthetic, but it's like, it's being forced out into this ether of the social network, you know? So.
I definitely don't do that. And it's almost like intentional sometimes that I don't do that.
I think it's better.
Because I hate it.
More of a conversational thing. And you do the same thing. You post G-Wagons on LinkedIn.
I saw one outside in the parking lot. I took a picture. I almost sent it to you.
Send it to me. We'll post it later.
Yeah, I think you broke that mental barrier. At least for me, you broke that mental barrier.
What, posting G-Wagons?
Or just in general, just like posting on LinkedIn, like things that were probably not like before this, things that you would see on LinkedIn in terms of like most of the people are like treating it like a professional career builder type of thing, and then Reed comes along and he's posting like basically shit posting, and it just starts picking up steam. Like honestly,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's you gotta ideally, because I don't have an employer or anything, so I say whatever I want, and that's been freeing. And hopefully, it's kind of like my hope is that it more people just start doing it, because it doesn't matter. It's not that you need no employer to like. You don't need to be like unemployed or work for yourself to like do this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should just like instantly start posting nothing but Zen and the E-wagons, but like you can. I mean, she's doing it, has there ever been a time where Revno is like, hey, like, don't do that?
No, and I mean, I'm also not the type of person. I want generally everyone to win. Like, I want everyone to do well. I want everyone to meet and like be cool and just chill. So I'm not ever going to post something that's like so controversial that someone would come back to me like, Danielle, take it down.
Yeah.
So yeah, I haven't had to apologize yet.
That's good. I wouldn't apologize.
And have you noticed benefits? Like, what's happened as a result of your online?
Yeah. So, not my childhood and the logistics doesn't really count. I just like saying I have 30 years experience. But the 5 years or going on 5 years I've been with Revenova, the first 3 I did not really engage in the space, and so my network was only the customers that I talked to that were already on Revenova.
Yeah.
Once I started opening up and doing more, my network has grown more, and I formed more relationships this year than in all years prior.
Yeah, it's super. I mean, everybody that I know through Freight, including Paul, I've met everybody online either through X or through the Discord. The Discord was a big enabler for me too, for sure.
Yeah.
So met a bunch of people there. And honestly, it's like. It's super awesome when you talk with these people. Like a lot of the people I talk with on the Discord, like in DMs at least, pretty extensively. And then you come in and meet them in person and for the first time, and it's like, this is like, I don't know, we've known each other for like
like I'm not actually meeting you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
well, it's like starting from. This isn't a sexual reference. It's like starting on third base. 3.
I know. I told you I was not doing this today.
Oh. It's like starting on third base, like from a baseball standpoint. Like you, in case in point, us at Matt's, like, I mean, and this applies for not just people that you've actually like engaged with frequently, but like just people in general. When you put stuff out there, they feel like, and it's like actually who you are, people start to like get a sense for who you are.
Yeah.
And so when they meet you for the first time, they're like, oh, like it's almost like they know you already. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I like awkward, so I can be awkward and I enjoy that, but it's not awkward.
Or it's way less. I mean, or the odds of it being are way lower.
Yeah.
But has it like, do you think it's like done for anything for the business? Like, do you think it's done anything for you? Like, as I don't know, however you take that question.
Like Revenova specific.
Oh, I mean, just
how more inbound leads, for example.
I would say a lot of them are more warm inbound leads.
Yeah.
And maybe it's not direct like coming through me or because of me, but it's because of I have become friends with someone, that someone is talking to their friend that's mentioning getting a TMS. We're like, oh, I think that's what Danielle does.
Yeah.
And then it like somehow comes full circle, and then they get on the sales call and they're like, oh, well, so-and-so referred us because they saw like LinkedIn or they saw Danielle posting something.
Yeah. Right.
I had a couple come up to the booth last night, and they were talking about like general, just seeing me on social media or like talking on social media, engaging with one another. And I thought that was the extent of the conversation. But then they both turned into very, I would consider them like hot leads for the team.
Right.
So it's like,
what more could you ask for?
Yeah.
I'm curious, when you go through your sales process, so you're after the initial lead is kind of brought in, you're kind of showing them more of like a tailored solution. Like,
Yep.
What would you say sticks out the most to you when you're doing those demos that like is like when customers see a certain feature, a certain implementation, they're like right away they're like, wow, this is like for sure I'm in.
Yeah. It's been eye-opening for me being on the pre-sale side. There's so much in Revenova that I take for granted because I know it so intimately and I'm so close to it every day. Creating a custom report in Revenova, anyone can do it as long as they have the permission. It doesn't cost an extra fee to be able to do this one thing. And it's like, it's drag and drop. It's like creating an Excel sheet, except you're not typing in the field names because that is already there.
Yeah.
And you can't really do that other places. So to be able to show them that, I think that it's just like a basic feature, really not knowing that it's not. So there's that. And then moving from the prospecting stage of a like potential customer or prospect into that customer, like shipping their first loan. In Revenova, none of your data is moving, transitioning, like going from one system to another. You're not losing anything. So everything that you're doing with the prospect, as long as you log it, if it's not in there, it's not in there. But as long as the salesperson is doing their due diligence and putting this stuff in, it's going to be there until, I don't know, the end of time.
Got it.
So you have like a holistic view of where you were with this prospect, how that process went, the sales process, and then the first loan. And it's like, it reminds me, the CRM piece on our side, it's like when you go to the doctor, if you've been going to the like same doctor for a long time, when they look at your file, they have everything about you. So they can serve you the best way possible.
Yeah, they have a lot of context.
Yeah. And it's the same way with our like CRM, the CRM piece and TMS being together. We have everything that you would need to best serve that customer.
So do you notice like from a lot of the Revenova users, like do they tend to use a certain lead generation platform over others? Like because this is like a bring your own data type of a thing, right?
Yeah, I see there's a lot of like plugins to Salesforce, or like it's like a Google extension.
Sure.
Zoom Info I think is used a lot. Yeah, Zoom Info.
There's a couple of them, like generic contact databases, some info, Apollo. Apollo's also
I've heard of
popular,
Apollo.
or more recently, because they raised a lot of money. Like I think they raised like $170 million or something like this, like
That's a lot.
quite recently. So,
Wow.
but I think that it's basically to subsidize a lot of their leads themselves because they're trying to win a lot of the Zoom Info business itself. But yeah, that's more recent. I think they're like a Y Combinator type startup or something like that. So.
Oh.
And Silicon Valley, I guess these days you can still raise $170 million in today's market. So,
You just got to say the right words.
So wait, when are you raising at $1 billion valuation?
I already did. $5 last night. $1 billion valuation, unicorn status, 0.0000, couple more 5% equity stake.
You're handing out the safe notes as you walk around.
Yeah.
Sign here.
Yeah, I think we're meeting later to let the ink dry, or to sign the papers and then the ink will dry. Yeah. So what, like,
How long does it take for the ink to dry?
a couple seconds. Yeah. Yeah. You got to blow on it.
He signs with the feather and ink.
So like, what are you just gonna keep doing what you're doing? I'm not talking about like from a job standpoint. Like, well, actually, let's talk about this. Like, do you see yourself evolving like further in the company? Like, do you like the role you're in now? Like, how do you grow like within Revenova? Like, how do you take on more responsibility? Like, what's your next step? Like, what are you shooting for?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I have no like 5-year plan.
Yeah, me neither.
I have done that before, and it's always like, for lack of better words, like went to shit.
Yeah.
And that's like throws you off like mentally.
Yeah.
And is depressing. And you're like, hey, 5 years ago I thought I was going to be here, and then you're not.
Yeah.
So I just don't do that. I love Revenova. I love our products. I love our company. I have no intention to really do anything else besides be at Revenova. So I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. I really enjoy being on the sales side, though. My boss now, Jeff Parisi, he's our VP of sales. When he introduces me, he always says that he's been trying to get me on the sales team for 5 years. So
Now you're there.
yeah, and I do enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll definitely tell you that 3 years ago I didn't exactly expect to be doing media or like lead generation tools whatsoever.
I would have 5 years ago. I would not have told you that I was going to be commenting on people's LinkedIn and
it's interesting.
commenting the things that I do.
Oh, I feel you. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's the Jason Fried of 37 Signals.
Yeah,
who I don't know if you're aware of them, Danielle, but I think you would appreciate their style. But they're like the original kind of like marketing, like content as like sales for a software product people. And they have an interesting thing that I heard the other day. Like they have a huge company. I mean, not gigantic, but like very profitable, big software business for project management tool. And they like set no company goals. They like set no goals.
I love that. Though.
They have this whole like thought process behind it. And he's like, yeah, like literally, like you don't like 5 years, you have no idea. Like you're gonna, and if you and you're in more often than not, you set yourself up for failure because you just don't know what's gonna happen.
And I also feel like you're putting yourself in a box.
Yeah.
Like I can't do X, Y, and Z because I'm trying to get to this one goal.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to do this, so I'm not going to engage on LinkedIn because I don't have time.
Yeah, I agree.
So if something comes along where it makes more sense to like adjust that goal, it's not constraining yourself to a box. It also can like I don't know how you guys think about this, but like not having the goals at all can maybe make you kind of be all over the place. I think Jason and this is the base camp team, right?
Yeah.
Like I think they just simply have a certain type of discipline that allows them to like execute on very short term.
I like the shorts.
But I don't know.
They work in like 6 weeks. Like they think about like what they're working on. Like if we can't do it in 6 weeks, like we're not going to do it basically. Yeah. But what I think is interesting though, and I think that a lot of people in this industry like I think there's so much conventional. I think we're like plagued by just like very conventional thinking in this industry.
Very conventional what?
Thinking. Just like very little like outside the box. I don't even mean just like, okay, the box is here and we're like right here. I'm talking about like being over here. Sure. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, very few people do that. And
do it well.
And so there's just a lot, like you go inside a lot of these companies and it's just what 10-year goal, 10-year plan, whatever. Like that's how it's been in my experience. And I'm just like,
I don't understand, like, as I forget the word. I think it might be volatile that people use or volatile about the industry. Being in this industry and knowing like how crazy it can be, maybe I just haven't been on that side and understand like the executive mindset behind setting those goals. I don't understand how you can set those goals.
Well, how do you guys do it? And like, how does your team, how do your leaders kind of message to you guys? Like, how do you guys work?
So we have, I mean, it changes. We have a like big vision. There's no time stamp on it. Like, this is what we want to do. However, if this changes, it's going to change.
Sure.
I don't know that 3 years ago we ever thought of 3 years ago. Yeah. I don't think 3 years ago we thought about creating a fleet like operating.
Yeah. Like, which is what you guys just announced. Like,
yeah, we did. So we engage with our customers or talk to our customers a lot. They essentially drive our product
roadmap.
Yeah, like what we're building, what we're doing next. Of course, there's
you're good. I'll talk to you later.
Of course, there's things we have to do for different integrations and stuff, but
sure.
Yeah, our customers drive our product, and even our prospects will drive our product. If 5 prospects are telling me they want the same thing, then probably a good idea.
So let me ask you this though, like, do you think that, like, how do you guys weigh, okay, yeah, we take in feedback, but like a lot of times people like think they want something, but they don't, like they just don't, push comes to shove, like we deliver it and they just don't actually want it. Like customer feedback is great. It sounds so good to be like, oh yeah, customer feedback drives our product development. But like, dude, like
I have like
a lot of times customers don't know anything. Like, you have to balance it. You have to balance like
Yeah. So, yeah, what you're saying, 100% correct. The way we balance it is what some of our customers will write versus what they will walk us through, or like, hey, this is what I want to do, and like show us what they want to do. Totally different. Like what we read that they put in text.
Yeah.
Like we can understand it as one thing, and then they actually show us what they're doing, and it's like night and day different.
Yeah.
So generally that's how we get like what they actually want to do. And then our product team uses like a scoring matrix too, to say like, how does this actually affect the business? Is it something that we want to do quickly? Is it something that we're going to put on the product roadmap for later?
Sure.
That kind of thing.
So for me, I am also in agreement in that sense that like, if they put it out in front of you and give you a straight up example of like, here, I need this to work this way, it's very quick to assess that. But then like high level, like when we started like Shipper CRM, we started straight up as just a CRM. But I was like, I don't know entirely like if that's what they ultimately want. Like, because I was looking for freight, I was looking for shippers. And when people would say I wanted a CRM, I'm talking about like the people that are just starting, probably outside of Revenova. So I would say, when does Revenova come in? Like probably more than 5 people on the team, 10 people? Or like, can you start with Revenova early?
Like users?
Target customer size.
Oh, okay. Like 30 users. I mean, we're all over the map, to be honest. We have like startup brokerages, like 3 people.
Okay.
And then we have pretty much jumped from like there to like 35 plus.
Got it.
And then there's another tier of like hundreds of users.
So for me, it was like the users were saying, I want a CRM. But then there was this quote by, I think it's Henry Ford, which is like, if people wanted if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said that they wanted a faster horse type of a thing.
Yeah.
And they would have never gotten, obviously, a car.
Yeah.
Which is, I always take that, like, I always remind myself of that quote, because at the end of the day, it's like the job of the creators and the builders to like, figure out what they actually really want. And that's why we ended up coming on like more of a shipper database than we are a CRM. CRM was just like kind of a little add-on thing, but integrations for us are becoming very important as well too, because like at the end of the day, there is no standard database. But that's how I kind of arrived at that conclusion, which was that people would tell you as a high-level thing that they wanted, everything about it I questioned, right? And I would say that's harder to do usually, because otherwise you'll go down a path where you're like, you build an entire thing, you give it to them, and they're like, okay, great, but like it's not really, I'm not going to buy it. You know? So
yeah, I definitely think it's important to keep like those, at Revenova, I call them like the big idea guys. Like they have the awesome, internally, they have like these awesome ideas. And then our developers, that's how Revenova was created in the beginning. Mike had these like crazy ideas, Charles had ideas, and then Dave built it. And I think it's important to continue with like that creative side and that like big idea side. Because we could take exactly what customers say all day long, but if we also don't do what we know how to do as a software company,
sure, you're just going to keep building the faster horse if you just
or the customers could just build their own, and that's what some do. And
maybe you can eventually make a horse as fast as a Ferrari, but I doubt that would be way too much effort, basically. So,
what do you guys? Obviously, there's you come to a place like this, there's a bunch of vendors, a bunch of potential integration partners. Like, I'm sure all your customers like are asking for, just about everything under the sun from an integration standpoint. Like, how do you prioritize, like,
that's a good question,
who you want to work with first? Like, how do you guys think about that?
I don't know.
This episode is brought to you by Isometric Technologies, ISO, the ultimate freight broker's secret weapon. With ISO, you'll have access to industry-wide service performance benchmarks, dynamic carrier and customer scorecards, and powerful analytics so you can understand your service strengths, address your weaknesses, and differentiate your carrier network from the competition. To learn more and get started, visit iso.io today.
Good answer.
So I really don't know. And I don't know intentionally. I love to see everyone win. So I just...
Please name the partners that you're integrating with first and your thought process. No, I'm just...
I'm just kidding. Yeah. No, I just stay out of this conversations. It's on our product team. They do that entire process. There's a whole like ABC, XYZ process behind it. I just form relationships with people, and someone comes up and they're like, hey, we're doing this, this, and this with 3 of your customers. Then I can take that conversation, go to our product team and say, hey, do you guys know that we're doing this? Do you know that they're doing his custom? There's 3 of them. Now there's 10 of them. We should probably push this one.
Sure.
Yeah. So those are my kind of conversations. I don't...
Honestly,
the other one.
Prioritize it. So I found this new thing. It's called Product Lane. It's another service, whatever. And we're about to add it in so that you can just click a button and it will take you to like this voting page, basically, where all of our users can basically submit suggestions. We have to approve them, but I had no other idea as to like, we have very limited resources. How do we go about prioritizing stuff? And like, it seems like this thing will allow our users to just like upvote certain features. And if the community votes on like one, then I guess that will lead our prioritization. Because otherwise,
let's vote and you're good.
Yeah. Like, and as long as we approve it, like if we think it's a good idea, then like, all right, we'll post it for everybody to start upvoting. But otherwise, I mean, I might have a gut intuition because like to the end of the day, like a lot of what we're building was like based on mine and Paul's experiences of trying to get our own freight prior to all of this. And there's a certain level of intuition you can have, like, okay, that would have helped us or that won't help us. So we'll post it to everybody. And if they start upvoting it, then we'll do it.
Yeah. So Salesforce does that. And it's actually really cool. We do it to an extent. We don't do the voting part. Ours is more of each customer submits their own. And then if some of them are alike, then we can pull them together. And then that's basically the scoring.
Okay.
Salesforce, they will approve some of those ideas and some of them that have like more suggestions or more that are like or others. And then they send it out to everyone. And I think it's like 3 or 4 times a year you get to vote on it. Pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. That's
nice.
What was your experience with sales? Did you use Salesforce prior to? Okay.
I had no technological background.
Do you like? I'm assuming a lot of it's probably a leg up for you guys in like a sales process when a broker is already using Salesforce for their CRM, which is like a very popular tool, obviously.
It is.
And so that's like, that's probably an asset for you guys, right?
It is. It's not, they already know what essentially the UI looks like, because that's the hardest part sometimes is moving from one UI to the other. I always tell, even on our prospecting calls, if they ask me to build a load, if you've built a load in one TMS and you put in origin, destination, line items, you can do it. I could give you Revenova today and you could do the same thing, or any other TMS, honestly. Customers that are using Salesforce, it's just easier because they already know the UI. They know what it looks like. It's the same account, like record or object. It's the same contacts. We're just bringing in the transportation side.
Nice. What's the hardest part of closing deals for you? Are you the closer, or you're just like you're coming like as a support team?
Yep. Got it. Yep, I'm emotional and technical support.
Technical support. It's a good.
What else can we talk about? What else do you want to talk about?
So, sorry, I didn't mean to get your attention. Like I told her, like I was talking to. When I talk about CRM, and I push this because I am an advocate for drivers, carriers. In Revenova, and I tell everyone this almost every day, the CRM, so our accounts, it's customers, it's shipper consignees, warehouses, whatever. It's also carriers. Mm-hmm. So the same like information that you can keep, or the same cadence that you're calling customers, you should also be gathering that information for carriers. And we can house all of that in Revenova, but it's almost like kind of like a mindset change of just getting carriers from, I don't know.
It's like carrier, and basically it's carrier sourcing and keeping on file like who the carriers are, what they do.
Yeah, so we can take like what Reed does with the carrier list and those preferred lanes, and they could put that in and say, this carrier likes to go here, here, and here. They're available on these days. And then you have that relationship with carrier versus going to...
And that's unique to freight brokers, right? Because obviously carriers wouldn't need to do that for other carriers, but that's why it's so that you guys are basically, yeah, I mean, that makes total sense, like lane preferences. But so the thing is that whoever uses Revenova, they have to add all that information themselves, right?
Yes and no. So we are integrated with the like big load boards, DAT, Truck Stop, Trucker Tools, Load Board Network, one in Canada, LoadLink.
Trucker Tools just did a carrier sourcing tool, for example. It just made,
I didn't see it.
They just announced it, at least at the press days. So
yeah,
it was like 20
only there.
companies. It was hard to keep up with. But
it was. So those, truck postings come in. We have a carrier portal, so carriers can go in and add their own. And then with Salesforce, you can do data uploads. So if they had a list, like what they would be getting, maybe from Lost Freight, they could upload that list and create in there. But it's not.
You have a Lost Freight integration yet?
No.
Nobody does. Nobody does. Yeah, that's my bad. Wow. Yeah. I'm doing other stuff. What?
It's not prioritized. It's fine.
Maybe that's a good way to put it. So like, I don't know, what else is on your mind these days? What do you enjoy doing when you're not slanging or assisting in or sales engineering or whatever?
Providing emotional support.
Yeah, like what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? You got kids. You got 2 kids? 2 boys? How's that going?
Handful.
Wild.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like Tech Bro Tuesday, Freight Therapy on Thursdays.
Yeah, how do you do Tech Bro Tuesdays?
I just lurk.
Yeah,
I literally say nothing.
Yeah, I actually don't know if I had heard. I think I'd like had called on you a couple times just to hear your voice.
One time you called on me and I was like actually ready to speak, and I clicked on the microphone and it wasn't set up to where my phone settings would allow Discord to get access to my microphone. Oh. And so by the time I went through all that, it was like, all right, ineffective, not dramatic anymore. Yeah. And then I put my kids to bed like at the same time it's all going on. So if I start talking, they think that it's time to get back up.
Yeah.
And so but I do enjoy the conversations and listening in.
Okay, so you enjoy the events. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What
the highlight of my week?
So what Tech Pro Tuesday topics typically are most interesting to you? Like the most engaging ones. I'm even trying to think about which ones.
What? Yeah, I mean, just in general, like you obviously have an interest in like what's going on in conversations and all that stuff. Like, what do you?
I definitely prefer when it's more than like 3 people engaging and like talking. When it gets to the point where it's like 1 or 2 people like hogging the conversation.
Yeah. Gets a little.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just don't get any like super excitement off of that. I don't know. There's so many different perspectives in there. Even though it's like tech bros, it's still.
There's a lot of drivers that come in and share a bunch of stories too, which is like not tech related at all.
Yeah.
I find those are pretty.
But it helps me to understand, not that I'm really on a product team, but be able to take some of this information like, hey, this is what people are actually dealing with, versus we were talking about the box. And with our customer requests, it's like making a faster horse. We can only do what our customers, or we only know what our customers are asking for. Our customers are on Revenova, so they only see Revenova.
Sure.
So it's like all these like different things that are coming about, or conversations or hot topics, then I can take that back and be like, hey,
yeah, I mean,
it's actually more pressing than what it seems.
Yeah, I mean, you get like when you come to stuff like this, you go to events, you get to go watch other people's presentations, you get to learn about their products. and you get to do, and obviously you're learning about products through your customers and stuff like that. But like, it's in, especially in these sorts of events, it's very much like, every company that's here has like thought a lot, and they've got all their marketing people, talking, oh, hey, this is how we message this is how this presentation is going to go, this is our, whatever. But like when you're on Twitter, or you're on, whatever, in our Discord, like whenever you're in an event, it's much more like kind of off the cuff.
Yeah,
and I feel like
authentic,
and it increases kind of the ability. It provides another venue to get this sort of like, ear to the ground information that you can't get, that you can't really get. I mean, it's one thing to listen to a presentation here, but it's another thing to like be,
presentation is perfect. It's perfect. The presentation.
Oh, here.
Yeah. Well, any show presentation. Yeah. Like if I get up and I'm going to present something.
It is like
to be perfect.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be very like filtered. Not filtered. Filtered is like, I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean like they're going to have like thought about it a lot, and that's like good, but also I don't know. I mean, you need the raw. You need raw.
One of the craziest things that on the ear to the ground things that I heard recently was, I think it was 2 weeks ago. There was an owner operator. I forgot. I think her name was Janice or something like that. And she was saying how her business is like hurting. She's in LA or something like that right now, and there's guys so you run teams, which are 2 people.
Yeah.
But now there's like groups of people that are running 3.
Yeah.
They're literally on the clock. The truck does not stop, like at all. And she said that basically these people come from overseas. They all sleep obviously together in the same truck, and they just constantly are cycling. And they literally their clocks don't have to, they don't have to wait to reset their clocks because there's 3 of them.
So there's like 3 separate ELDs in the truck.
I guess 1 ELD, but maybe.
Count 3 users.
Yeah. 3 users. But yeah.
Was that Janice?
Who's Janice?
Yeah. Yeah, she was. Janice is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's a team herself. Yeah.
Yeah. So she was saying it's pretty hard to compete with. But anyway, all right, I think we're up on time because we gotta go for another part.
Any closing thoughts? Anything? I don't know. Like what else?
And
favorite Freight X memory? Or a thing? I don't know, you mentioned.
I have a lot of favorites. My favorites change like every day. Something new will come up and I'm like, ooh, that was my favorite.
Which one?
Any.
Changes
day by day.
Cool.
I probably We Are So Back. It definitely, that was my entrance into this like whole community, but also it made such an impression. When I clicked on Freight X, it's literally so many tweets. And then I didn't know any of these people. I just started reposting them because why not?
25, 30 people just reposting all at once. But
yeah.
All right. Danielle, thank you so much. It was great meeting you. And thanks for sharing. Read too.
Yeah, in real life.
Cool.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks for tuning in to the Daily Freight Caviar podcast. If you enjoyed the podcast, or if you didn't, leave a review. Let me know what you think. I appreciate any feedback. If you'd like to have more Freight Caviar content, go to freightcaviar.com and subscribe to my email newsletter.